start the meeting with the reading of the minutes from last meeting.
So our last meeting was August 11th, 2025. The meeting started at 7:09. The July minutes were read and the minutes were approved. For old business, the water at the ball field had been turned on. Tom had not heard anything about fencing for the small park, and he had been reaching out to IDEM every month, but still had not received anything from them. Tracy Michael from Brownfield Group wanted the date of the deed transfer for the school. Caitlin spoke with the plots department, was given the date of transfer as September 2nd, 1986. She sent it on to Tracy, but had not heard back yet. Caitlin obtained a police report for a down street sign, and was investigating signs to put up, and also wrote a letter for the driver that requests reimbursement for the sign, and will send it certified. For new business, I was starting the budget and was meeting with the DLGF field rep. The memorabilia for the school will be transferred to the firehouse on August 31st in the afternoon. I sent around bills and July minutes for signature. Caitlin motion closed and Tom seconded, and the meeting closed at 7:26 p.m.
Everybody heard the reading of the minutes? The August meeting, if there are no additions or corrections, they'll be approved as read.
I probably,
Okay.
I think you got
Old business. Anything on Brownfield?
yes, so moving forward, she had just found a date that would work before I even got to her, so she's still working on that on the back end. So we're just still waiting.
But it's still
In process of
in
moving forward.
process.
Yes.
And the funds are,
See, I was trying to find I don't know if I'm having trouble with my email, because I did hear back. I had to reach out to the sign lady again for the street sign, and I heard back from her. I know I got an email from her, but I can't find it to print it. When I went to go print it yesterday, it was nowhere to be found, and now I cannot pull up the Brownfield email. So I might have to, I don't know what's going on with my email.
can you do it on a real computer? Rather than your phone?
If I had a real computer. I mean, I have a laptop. I should just be able to type in Brownfield, and it should pull up all my emails from them. But that's not happening, and I don't know, I'm not sure why. So I will continue to do research. She does not need any, she didn't need it, when I followed up with her, she didn't need anything from me at that point.
Okay.
And if I do find that email, I will pull it up while I'm here.
Okay. Other old business, from what I understand, the move went well for the,
Yes, I guess. Okay, well, in perspective, it did, but I guess what ended up happening was that Nellie kind of took the lead on sorting between some of the stuff, and we only hauled maybe a truckload or so, maybe a truckload and a half down here. It's
I
upstairs.
noticed there's not a huge amount of stuff upstairs.
Everything else we put into the storage container at the school.
Okay,
Okay, some of that stuff is damaged beyond salvage, but obviously, there was a little gray area on whether it was like community center stuff versus historical society stuff versus, she didn't go through every single page or anything of that nature, right? So the idea was just not to throw anything away until we figured out how you guys want to handle the process of eliminating what needed to be and not, you know what I'm saying? So in other words, you know, who makes the decision on getting rid of some of the stuff that's like some of the news breakers would say, the little water members. You understand what I'm saying, and how it work, if anybody wants anything out of it versus throwing it away. You understand what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's a good process that we discussed. The point is both of the sheds are empty, and what she thought was higher priority and or town stuff is upstairs. The rest of it's over there, so it may be that, you know, we can get together and kind of look at what to do. I don't know, again, where that falls in the realm of the town disposing of old records or stuff. And again, some of these ones is set it out there, and let anybody from town that wants it to come up and get it first come, first served, or you just open the dumpster. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the point. It's all sacred ideas that can be all applied, but like, there was cheerleader uniforms that were an excellent condition. There's also a tote that had some that were in terrible condition, right? So we didn't toss anything. Does anybody ever want them? I got no idea. You understand what I mean? And that's the point. So we freed up the church from what they needed to do to get their buildings back. What we thought was significant went upstairs. And then there is still some good items over there. There's definitely some items that were salvageable and probably would fall in the realm of historical items, you know, from the school itself or whatever, but not maybe so much that it can be salvaged or whatever. So I don't know how we want to handle on determine what's trash and what's not. I don't want to make it difficult. It's just that you don't start checking stuff and then people around town say, oh, somebody was up. Yeah, somebody was up there throwing stuff away, you know, and had no idea what it was. So right now it's all been the same.
I think we'd be in agreement that, what's good and salvageable and historic should be on the advice of the Historical Society with the consent of the board. That would be the proper.
But I mean, the other part would be giving them the authority to decide what to dispose of. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's what I was
You're
getting
not
at.
micromanaging, but you have to say, hey, look, if you guys want to go over and sort that out and throw this away, if not, I didn't look through everything, and I don't think Nellie went through every single piece of paper, so I'm not 100% sure if everything.
That'd be hard to define.
Right, and some of it you couldn't read anyhow, but.
It'd be difficult for one person, but like I said, with the resources that you have, to go through that stuff, not now, but, because we've got festival coming up and all that stuff. But at some point, go through it, see what you think, what your committee or whatever thinks of the historic significance of anything that's remaining there. If you feel that it's great, good, whatever, okay. If it's salvageable, yes. If you feel that, all right, this stuff is junk, it's garbage, it's not, then we'll take a look. But you get first call on it. Because it's your venue, it's your purview.
Well, the things that, my opinion, if I had been able to be there, if there were things that were water damaged, they would have went in the trash. Because, if they're water damaged, you can't go through them anyway, and they're all gonna be stuck together.
But the only thing in this case that was, we were trying to get this, the main goal was to get the sheds out, not, take care of every piece of paper or whatever. We just went there and
Because on the day, when we were emptying everything out of the school and getting it over there, things were separated, things were laid out. We donated, ACE donated a dehumidifier to remove the moisture, to get things dried out as fast as possible. And what we determined at that time was, okay, these things have a history. Now the smoke damage, the watermarks, the water damage, it's just another part of the history of that item if it's of historic significance. It's just saying it's water damaged, it's not going to
Well,
mean that it needs to
what
be
I'm
thrown
saying,
out.
the things that are water damaged and pages are stuck together,
Yeah,
you're not gonna be able to go through them anyway.
no, I understand that part. But we laid it out, everything was laid out on tables all over the place so that they could be dried individually. They were separated that day,
Yeah.
everything that could be. Books, there were crates of books that were thrown away because we knew that there was no way they could be salvaged.
Yeah.
All right. But the individual stuff that could be separated, laid out, and dried individually, they were saved. So hopefully that continued. It was still salvageable.
I didn't get to go up there that day, so I really know.
and I guess what I'm getting at is that it wouldn't take a lot. There's definitely some very obvious stuff that just needs to be done there, right? My only point is if Madonna's outfit, whoever wants to take it, I would just suggest that they say, hey, look, we'll get a dumpster up there, sort it, throw it on a table, and say, that nature.
And then there's not the choice, the chance for somebody to come back and say that they didn't have the
Opportunity to
look
get any
through
type of,
things.
even if it's water damage or not, it's amazing what some people will grab and take. And so they may save a lot of effort on some of this type of stuff. And there's definitely some stuff that Nellie didn't feel that was significant to come down here, but I think that somebody, Max might like, you know, or something of that nature. But that's my one point. So in other words, if you could do that in a scheduled thing where you, hey, let's meet up there, sort that thing out, that if nobody's here by noon, this is going to dumpster, this is going to firehouse.
Yeah.
But,
I'm just saying if it's obviously destroyed,
Well, yeah, that, I'm agreeing with that.
there's no reason to keep it. I mean,
we all
That's-
agree on it. The only thing is nobody up there had any authority to make that call because we weren't sure what everything, who belonged to what.
Because I just wanted to have additional sets of eyes.
Yeah.
Because your group has an eye on history, on what's been, what needs to be, the history of Mecca. All right, that's the Historical Society's job, basically, is preservation of the history of Mecca. All right, so if there are early maps of this area, if they're at least legible, they'd probably be worth salvaging. I'm not a guy that's into maps, but of a historic nature, maybe that's part of it. All right, so it's something that other sets of eyes need to look at.
Agreed.
is there things up there that belong to the town?
Well, we didn't go through every piece of paper. I thought Nellie was focused on getting most stuff up here, but we were just moving stuff, so I didn't see everything that she
I
was
don't know
saying.
that any actual town records were ever stored.
I agree, it might not just be records, and that's the point. I think that was probably, if there was any, it was probably a lot smaller fraction. I do know that anything that had anything to do with veterans, she tried to salvage and send down here regardless of condition. And that way, obviously, if that ever decides to be dealt with, then whoever's family wants to come lay claim to it, probably should go back to the families, I would assume. If, however, that is, I'm saying that ended up down here, I believe that stuff, right? So I would say the lion's share of the stuff up there, there's still desks, chairs, things of that nature up there. But there's also, books, there's encyclopedias, there's school registries. There was several of those. Okay, they weren't water damaged. Do we need to save all those, right? Or do we set them out and let people come and get it? We weren't making any calls, we were just storing it, right? So that call still have to be made on what's up there. They just get a broad, hey, this was some of the stuff we're saving, even if it wasn't town stuff, it was potentially, however that laid out, it was regular, like the cheerleading uniforms. They're upstairs, right? The ones that were water damaged are sitting over there and they could maybe will be salvaged, but they didn't go through the tote and check it out. They just said, hey, put this one over here, take that one to the firehouse. And that's the way that worked out. So it was a broad, rough separation.
There should have been, unfortunately, a lot of the, as much as I saw the town records
Yeah.
were in the building that was torn down.
Agreed. I don't think there's records, or very many records. I don't think
Yeah.
that was the case. I think it was
I did see quite a few old township records.
township.
Yeah.
Could be, right? Again, you were a little bit more while we were moving stuff across the trailer, so nonetheless, all I can say is nothing got thrown away. Everything's either in that storage container and upstairs. And if you
What's in
want-
the cinema?
just a few desks, there's not much left in it. But that's never been added to. That was whatever we put in there during that.
Yeah, that was just additional,
In fact, the white
non-historic
tables,
furniture.
the white tables were in there, that's what we got up, that's where we got those from. Whatever was in there still, we've never put nothing else in there, so it's still,
Yeah.
we just took the tables out.
I didn't know if anything was put in there.
Not that day,
Anything
everything's
else?
in that carton.
No, nothing historic was put in either the shipping container or the semi. The stuff that was considered potentially of a historic nature all went to the church. All right. The stuff that went in the other containers were just odds and ends that maybe could be used at a later date. There's one or two in the shipping container. There's one or two display cases that potentially could be utilized for your purposes. because there's not anything that we would be looking at. But, it's potentially something that we use.
Display cases, if we could put them here somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know, I don't see why not, that's a whole different conversation, that's.
No,
No, I mean, if we're gonna set up a display and put stuff.
I'm just saying that's what's in there, that's,
Yeah, yeah,
you know.
But anyhow, that's where it is. You guys can roll around in mind or whatever stuff. Obviously, you don't wanna make it complicated, where 15 people are gonna want this one book, whether we say they're not getting it, we say, I get it, that's one I understand this. I'm saying probably to do this the most diplomatic way, would probably get 2 or 3 people up there to walk through that thing in 10 minutes, save, we'll put this out, if nobody takes it, we'll walk through it again, and what they don't take, trash, right? You know, and then that covers a lot of the bases on people saying, hey, I didn't get a chance to get it, and they just threw it away. You know, because most, in their minds, it's, oh, they checked treasures, they got rid of good stuff. You understand what I mean? And there's no way to provide that, unless they have an opportunity to look for themselves, right? But again, I'd say probably a third of what's in that, storage container is not good. It would probably need, and it's, you know, there's several totes of books that got pretty soaked and stayed shut, so they're not legible, moldy, things of that nature. There's other ones that are phenomenal, but whatever methodology Nellie was using, she didn't send some of those down. Or maybe it was because they were just general, you know, school books. We're not talking about 1918 readers, we're talking about probably something from the 70s or whatever, stuff like that, that she may have not felt had. But again, she was really trying to look through a lot and kind of get the biggest treasures that's seen down here. So it wasn't just, I think, that she was trying to get town stuff. She was trying to get stuff that she did not want to leave stored in the trailer, either to get inside here as well. So anyhow, so it wasn't just an absolute, this is here, this is here. It didn't work that way, right? But nonetheless, the church should be happy because they're in good shape now.
Yeah, I talked to Daniel, he was.
Right, and where we're at now is, I'll let it get in a way, I don't want to have a dog in that fight, so whatever you guys decide to do and how to handle that, so let me know, I can definitely throw a hand in, when you guys decide to sort of need to, you know, get rid of some stuff, however you want. They'll just need permission to get rid of some stuff, even though technically some of the stuff, they probably don't need permission to get rid of, because it may have just been somebody left something behind and donated this or whatever. My only suggestion is to cover the town, cover the organization, whatever. I would say, hey, let's go through it, what we want to salvage, and comes up here. Everything else is up front, it's out there for 2 hours, if nobody comes and gets it, or 3, whatever. Then we'll come back in the afternoon and get rid of whatever needs to be thrown away, and there's a lot, right? So, that's just neither here nor there, but you guys can handle how you want, it's been taken care of for now.
Well, that was my question, if there's nothing really in there that the town, I mean, that would belong to the town, then we can go up there sometime, Nellie and I, and go through that stuff and decide what we want to pitch and what not to pitch.
Go ahead, but I'm just wanting ahead of time, you're gonna bring the ire down of anybody that's not involved.
If you decide, when you're doing that and you decide, okay, we're gonna keep this, we're gonna pitch this, make a pile of the stuff that you're gonna pitch. Don't actually pitch
No,
it.
I
And then,
understand.
Yeah, right, that's
yeah.
good,
I
yeah, right.
understand.
Okay, yeah. And I think that's great.
And again,
You-
I'm really sure that you're probably not going to run across much town records or anything
I
directly.
didn't think that the town.
Right, but I'm saying that, it'd be up to you guys to decide if there's something that, as long as you guys understand each other's definitions of what needs to stay as a town property, and it doesn't have to be liquidated through any process, like saying, hey, look, these are still good uniforms, we need to vote on it and say we're gonna liquidate this property of the town. You understand what I mean? I'm only using it for example because they're not the town property, whatever,
Yeah.
you understand what I mean? So, as long as there's no gray area, I don't have.
Yeah, I just look at, because history is all a matter of perspective and what's salvaged, what's not. When you said, you know, school book from the 70s, better keep in mind, I mean, to us, it doesn't seem that long ago, the 70s were 50
Well,
years
again, I'm getting that.
I mean, really, if you think about it,
Yeah, but we're not, I mean, I don't know, what I'm saying is I don't know if those go for any money, and I don't know if they ever will for 100 years from now, because.
Well, so it's not a matter of if they would go for money, it's a
Well,
matter of if they are.
what I was trying to get at,
Okay.
what I wasn't finished was, what I was trying to say is, if you think a tote, or maybe it's worth money, that's a bunch of books that are tore up, because that's what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
I don't see them, these were, it was an example, I guess, and I guess it was a terrible one. My point is there's some magazines up there. And if we're gonna store magazines and not put them away, I guess I need to know, but I don't know who they belong to, right? So that's what I'm getting at. The books are gonna set, magazines, it's not my point. My point is there's a lot of generic stuff up there
Yeah.
that could belong to anyone. Somebody packed it in that day. There's the community center ran it, the historical society was involved up there, the ARABs ran it.
See, that would all
That's
be
what
us,
I think.
yeah.
No, I get it, but people donated stuff to these certain organizations. Do you understand what I'm saying? And if that's the case,
But like everybody that has any interest in that has been notified. Everybody was part of the alumni, was part of the historical society, that was part of the Arabs. They all know that we are all those groups now.
right.
And one thing, if we put a pile of stuff, where are we gonna put it? We can't put it out there on the school property, somebody will get hurt up there. People are out there rummaging
I'm not
stuff.
going,
If we clean out that
uh-huh,
storage building and there's stuff we're gonna say, we'll let people go through this,
right?
where are we gonna put it so they can go through it? You want it there on that,
Oh,
on the school?
we'll be at the site.
Yeah.
I think,
I don't, let me take a step back. I've done my part, real. I see what's happening, Bill, here's what you want with it. Get rid of it, don't throw it all away, light it on fire. I don't care, right? So it doesn't matter to me. I could, hey, we might run into this trouble. All I was saying is, I've already heard people saying, hey, what was you guys doing with that stuff? I'd like to have this, I'd like to have that. Like, that's all I'm trying to impress upon it, right? So my examples are done. I don't care what they do with it. You guys can, have them come get the dumpster and roll it off. I don't
We
care.
can set a date and time that just people can be there.
If you don't want people on the property,
And then-
Well, I don't know, I mean, do you want people coming in here and, if we got a pile of stuff, you want people coming on your, it's your property.
Well, that's what they're
We
saying
would
is
be there.
somebody would be there to supervise it.
Like you
They
have,
don't
you
get
have
free
between,
All they gotta do is
You-
go to the church parking lot and walk right over to it. I guess that's the point, you know, 'cause it's
Yeah.
all the way.
we can
Yeah.
have it part of the church.
You know, there are vehicles
If,
in the space, and
Yeah.
it should be.
and it could be roped off, it could be, if nobody gets a chance at this stuff, I don't care. I don't care.
Right.
I mean,
It's definitely something that we would be supervising. That time that people are coming to get stuff, we would be supervising. Is there room, so I guess maybe, and maybe this is part of the concern, if you and Nellie, so say you and Nellie pick a day on a Saturday to go through it, is there room for you to say, okay, this section over here is stuff that we are going to get rid of, or that we do not want to keep? Is there room for you to put stuff in a section like that until we can make a?
Inside the,
The
storage
container.
container?
Right.
I don't know.
and that was fully full, and they know they'll do it by themselves. It's extremely heavy totes. They were packed completely full, and they're stacked all the way to the top, right? So that's my point. That's why it doesn't matter to me. I really don't.
It would have to be something that was done in 2 stages. One stage, you guys go through everything. You say, this is what we're gonna keep, that stuff comes here. The rest of the stuff you leave there. And then we set a date, hey, we got all this stuff, we're gonna set a date, for everybody to come, see what they want. If you don't take it, it's gonna get thrown out.
The only,
And that's it.
Nellie might already do that, because I feel like that, the way she was explaining what was removed, that what she didn't have, she was sending out here what she thought was needed to be kept. I'm not speaking.
That's
for her.
just,
Right, we
I'm
can
just
read, we
saying,
can.
from your organization, that's just one person
Yeah.
making that call.
Right.
And I wouldn't feel comfortable with one person from any organization making a call like that, you know, concerning historic
Yeah.
significance of anything, okay? It takes multiple eyes. There's
So if we
not
do
just,
it in 2 stages, we're gonna have to have, in any stages, we're gonna have to have help, because like Mike said, all that stuff is
Very happy.
heavy, and neither one of, Nellie or I, neither one can lift it, so.
Okay, so we need to pick another date.
That's up to you guys. Again, if you just want to just jump it all night and open it up, I don't care. That's not my point.
it's something that can be set at a later date right now, because there's no I mean, it's in there, it's not,
Yeah.
there's no.
That's right.
Right now, we've got the festival coming
Right.
up and everything.
That's gotta be the focus right now, is the festival, your progress with the tent, things like that. That's where the focus should be right now. The main part of this has been taken care of.
And that's
The
getting it
re-
out of the church.
The rest could be done at a later date. Which, you know, is fine, because we emptied out the church buildings. They're happy. We got this stuff in a separate location, so it can be handled basically at your leisure.
Yeah.
You know, there's no rush. Really. You know,
10 years from now, suit me.
I did find my
it's fine.
email.
That shipping container's not going anywhere. We own it, so it's okay.
I did find my email, so let me say what
Okay.
this
You
email
just,
says.
so we'll revisit like scheduling times for that after Cover French Fest.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so Tracy from Brownfield says, she has the site out of bids, which are due back, the bids were due back on August 22nd. She said, I will select a consultant, and the budget for the work will need to be approved in September's board meeting. We will likely start work in October or November.
Okay? Excellent.
Okay, so she,
And what's this for?
This is for the
Asbestos
removal
remediation.
for the school.
Before anything is done, anything goes further, no one, nobody, no engineer, nobody else will ever set foot in that building without that asbestos being gone. So that's our first step to any future
So you're working on a grant?
agreement, yeah. It's the same one that they did at the sanatorium for the remediation there, the asbestos remediation at that point. So this is it's federal funds funneled through a state agency.
and she said that that'll be discussed at their September meeting?
So the budget for the work will need to be approved in September's board meeting, and we will likely start work in October or November.
Their board meeting, not.
Yes,
Okay.
Sure,
correct.
yeah.
I was just- Will be.
Also, it was an operator error. I was looking at the wrong email. So I have several emails. I know that you're not an email guy. I have several emails, and they're all, yes, they're just,
See, I would have been under the impression that everybody was only allowed to have one.
yeah,
One email?
yeah.
I agree.
Okay,
I'm
there are,
not
no,
even-
'cause there are some government sites that I have to use for the township and personally and for the town, and you're only allowed one email, and I'm like, but wait, I've got 3 different entities that I have to deal with here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, okay, because I saw Breaking Bad, and I thought, you know, like we have multiple emails that we jerk that guy.
I'm not doing
Okay, but you also called my old cell phone a burner phone.
Yeah, you've got a burner phone with multiple emails. She's got multiple emails. I don't know what I'm dealing with here.
You said you had heard back about the road sign.
Yes, she sent me a quote. She also stated to me, which I need to ask Doug with the town of Rockville. She said to me that it would probably be silly and super expensive for them to ship one pole to us. So she mentioned reaching out to the town of Rockville to see if that they would be willing, like if they had extra that they could sell to us, so that we didn't have to pay for shipping. However, I'm concerned that they are not going to have the exact one that we had, because the one that we had was the round, what did you call it? Galvanized, is
Yeah,
it
it's
galvanized?
galvanized.
And so I'm not sure that the town of Rockville is going to have one just like that. Do you have other options, or do you think we should just, you know,
Depending on the size, I mean, well, it's gotta be, how long is that?
I have 10 foot,
10 foot. 10 foot total or 10 foot out of the ground?
10 foot total.
Because,
I
I
do
mean,
believe.
I can get us 10 foot galvanized, threaded on both ends.
All you need would be the sign on it.
Yeah,
The sign holder will come with the sign and the
Yeah.
sign. And like
I
I
just
said,
need a diameter,
um,
and it's really not that expensive at this point.
okay, okay. Well, I'm gonna have to message her back because I cannot find her email, but I am for sure that
Maybe
she
it's
sent
on one
it.
of your other emails.
I tried. I tried that.
Okay, but yeah, we can, that's not an issue then. If it's a 10-foot section of galvanized, I've got everything from half inch to 2 inch, so
Okay,
it's not a problem.
all right, well, then maybe that's the avenue that we can go down then. Yes, and so I'm assuming that we will pay that invoice up front and then be reimbursed by the,
Okay, all right.
Did that letter, I'm gonna assume that letter got sent out?
yes.
Have you got, I mean, did you ask for a response? I'm assuming you asked, have you heard anything?
I have not heard anything back from her. And yeah, I guess the response would just be,
Here's the money.
yeah. Yeah,
As soon as you find out a diameter, let me know,
I will.
and then I can just go ahead and grab the force.
Okay,
Because we've got an account there, so I can just pull one. And then bring it.
okay. I will re-message her and I'll call her tomorrow and see if she can just resend me that email. And actually the one I used was the one in front of my house, so I can just have Tyler measure it, or I can do it myself, the diameter of that, and I can get that to you
Yeah, no problem.
tonight.
Yeah, if you shoot me the outside diameter, I can figure out what height it is. That's
Okay.
not a problem.
All right,
And then I can bring one and stick it in the corner over here until it's needed. That way we have it.
great.
The most expensive one is like $85. It's not a huge.
Okay, all right, cool. That'll work. This is, from the Sentinel. They still have the Church Street address on there.
HWC Engineering has a Goff Street address. They emailed me the bills thankfully, but the town must have used them at some point in the past, because they have.
We used to, we
addresses
did
off.
use them.
They used them for the water.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, that's the address.
And that was Goff Street was the clerk treasurer at the time.
Yeah,
That was Nellie, yeah. Or Ellie.
lives on Ball.
Ellie, no, there's too many Ellies.
Yeah, Ellie Phillips.
I know, I wonder what she came up my driveway to give me a $2 building permit.
Have you heard anything about fencing for the park or from IDEM?
No, no. IDEM is doing some kind of restructuring thing with the state. That, all of those departments are just tossed up in the air. So I have no idea what's going on with them.
So what is item?
IDEM is Department of Environmental Management. For the trashy properties. Yeah, they're the ones, that's our, at this point, that's our only way to handle it. All right, county don't want to get involved, so we gotta go to the state. And really, the state is really as far as I want to go, because I don't want the federal EPA nosing around my room. To be honest with you. So, that's as far as we've got. They started an investigation and started with it because a couple people made phone calls. And then after all that was done, it got dumped in my lap. So I've been trying to, they have my email address, because I had to get one just for them.
Do you read your emails?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I have to.
He probably doesn't get very much.
I don't, yeah, I don't get it, because I let people know that I have one. But, yeah, I get nothing. I get more from emergency management because of the tornado that went through here than I get from IDEM. All right, so that's old business. Any new business? You can scoot your chair around, look at the camera and promote your intent.
Yeah, we're recording.
We're recording.
Put it on
So
there.
this is your chance. This is your free advertisement.
Well, do you want me to speak now?
Sure.
I'm here to kind of clear up some stuff that's been going around town. It's been said that we're not gonna have a tent this year, that we're gonna have to move over to the schoolhouse. honest, well, the fact is, that land was not deeded, but it was given to the Historical Society in 1966 by Alan and Marjorie Bradfield. It's still in their name. They are both dead. They have one daughter, has no siblings, never been married, has no children, and she has decided that she wants control of this little 1 acre place over here. So we are dealing with her on she wants a contract, and I understand that she does not want to be liable if there's any accidents over there. We
So
carry
she-
$3 million worth of liability insurance. And she wants more, she wants something with her name on it, so she will be a secondary insured, which we will probably do that. She has demanded that the Gaylord Shaw Memorial Square Dance, that has to go, right now, it should be gone right now. There is a bench over there in the pavilion, the little pavilion that has in memory of Dorothy Murphy on it, which Dorothy Murphy was an old school teacher here in Napa. She, I don't know why anybody would put a bench in her memory anyway, but she wants that name gone off there. She doesn't want anything with anybody's name outside that building. She kind of made a remark that people were just using that like a park, and it was not a park. It was not meant to be a park. She didn't really like the fact that the pavilion was there, which it's been there, I don't know how many years, probably 40 years it's been there. But she's gonna let us leave it there. But the sign has to go, and right now we're waiting to get the contract from her to see if we're gonna sign it. But we are planning for the Bridge Festival, just like we have every other year. We're gonna have a tent. We've got room for vendors, if anybody knows any vendors that want to come into the tent. We're gonna be there during the festival, and after that, if she's not agreeable, I don't know what happens then.
So what are the terms for being in the tent? If somebody wanted to be in the tent,
If you put your stuff in the tent and you're there every day to sell it, if you want to go under your own TML, then you just pay us for a space. But if you want our organization, if you want to go in under our TML and have us to sell your stuff if you cannot be there, if you can work at least 2 days during the festival, we will charge you 20% of what you make. Because we have to pay 10% to PCI. If you cannot work and we sell your items, we will charge you 30%. But that's,
How much is a booth space?
it's $150 for 10 by 10, and then you take care of, if you want to get your own TML, or if you just want to rent that space. The booth, there won't be any booth space charge if we're selling your items.
Right.
If you're going under our TML, there won't be any booth space charge. It'll just be a certain percent
Right.
of what you sell.
Okay.
The lady that was there last year that has the motorhome and had all the drinking mugs and all those things, I don't know if anybody stopped in and saw those.
yes, yeah.
License plates and all that stuff, they're going to be back again this year.
Oh, that's very nice.
And yeah, it's really nice because they'll leave their motorhome there, and then we don't have to worry about paying somebody to guard the tent at night.
Now there will be like food trucks or vendors like that or anything?
The Westland Church is gonna have their sausage sandwich shack down there, and I think they're gonna have it open every day now, this year, instead of just on the weekends.
Wow.
That's the only one I know of right now.
Okay. Good, because I've had a couple people at Ace, customers there, approach me about the tent. I told them that it was going to be there,
Yeah.
but I wasn't certain as to what the terms were. So, no, and how do they contact?
765-569-6143.
Is
And
that your number?
that's text or talk. Yeah, that's my number.
I've got your number, right here,
Mhm.
so it's all right. Okay,
Yeah, but I've seen things on Facebook, people saying, are they gonna have to move the schoolhouse? And I'm like, no, that is going to happen. I mean,
Did she approach you at a meeting?
no, she called me, she lives in Florida. She has a house in Rock, this lady's got, no, she doesn't need anything. But she called me when she was up here and said that somebody had asked her about if she was gonna sell us that property or give us that property. And she said, that property is not for sale, and I will not be giving you that property. And, I mean, she made some ridiculous statements. Things like, her parents never knew that there was a tent up down there every year. I know that they did. I mean, it's been going on since 1966.
And what should happen, at this point, what should happen if she were to pass away with that property because there's no next?
That's gonna be in the contract, I think, in the new contract that she wants. When they did this in 1966, it was a,
handshake,
yeah,
Right.
Mhm.
yeah, that's how they did things,
yeah.
you know.
I did find a contract, I went to the courthouse today to see if there was a contract recorded. And I did find a contract between the waterworks and the town for that well that sits in the
Yeah,
bottom.
I see the cap.
There used to be a pump house there. There used to be a pump house there. And she made this remark, and it's true, it says it in the lease that the town was to lease that property for that well at $60 a year. And she has gone through her parents' records, and she cannot find where the town ever paid $60 for that lease on that well. So, I mean, it's just petty stuff, you know? And so I don't know, but we are gonna have a tent there this year. We're gonna have the schoolhouse there this year. It's gonna be about the same as it was last year. We're gonna have a little lady in there talking to people.
It sounds like it's gonna be nice.
Yeah. And I was gonna tell you, you and your wife, do you do anything? You used to put stuff over there.
We used to, she's gonna have her own space now,
Oh, okay.
because I'm putting the finishing touches on art gallery and space for her. That's what that red structure is.
Oh,
on the
yeah.
property. It's gonna be an art gallery and retail space for her. So that's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be open.
You're gonna have to have a TML for it.
Huh?
You'll have to have a TML.
She has a business license.
Oh, does she?
Yeah,
I'm not sure how that works.
she has a tax ID number, she has a business license. So she is licensed to operate a business.
Oh, good deal.
So that's not something that's gonna be,
And she's gonna have artwork?
yeah, artwork and different items that she is making. It's all gonna be handmade. And it's gonna be her artwork. I don't know what range. I mean, she just brought out this monster 4x4 hanging that she won a national award for. That's gonna be hanging up in there for sale. So, and then there's all these little things and stuff, so I have no idea.
Well, I just wanted to know so we can send people this way, you know, if they stop over there.
Awesome.
We had a lot of people that stopped last year that said, we didn't know this was here, we're gonna come back here.
Yeah.
And,
Well, we can swap. I mean, you guys can put a sign there, artwork that way. We can put a sign by our place saying,
yeah,
around the corner. You know, because a lot of people go down Montezuma and don't realize that there's stuff
yeah.
that way and vice versa.
And people will stop there and say, is there anything else in town?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Oh, I know, because they used to pull up in my driveway to find out, like constantly. They'd see me outside, and they'd pull in the driveway. And it happened, you know, a couple dozen times a day.
when my kids were little, we used to live there where Elwood lives, on the corner. And people would stop and ask them which way to go. I didn't know this till years later, and they'd tell them the wrong way, just to be me.
That still happens.
Yeah.
Well, it was because of that we put the signs at the corner saying 41 that way.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, people would get lost if they get detoured, and then they'd be driving around town trying to figure out where they were.
You need to put a sign up there that says artwork down there, right?
Yeah, that's, we're gonna do something like that. Yeah.
I have to ask the board for permission to do that. Very nice.
Do we have any other new business?
Yes.
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 Okay.
So, we have our ordinance for additional appropriations. So we know with the ball field, we did not have all of that cost in the budget from last year. So we exceeded our budget from last year because of that. So this is just, it's 6,500 for Parks and Rec, 1,000 for motor vehicle highway, and 10,000 for general, which should get us through, fingers crossed, through the end of the year, because Parks and Rec, that will get us, we had 12,000 something in there, we spent that. Well, we'd only done the original additional appropriations for 7. So now we have to do this appropriation, even though the money's already been spent,
Right.
just to balance the budget. Again, the whole imaginary money,
Moving,
piggy
right.
banks and all of that.
Yeah.
And so this should get us, based on what we spent second half of last year for general to get us through. Otherwise, we do have to, but it should be where we're at.
Okay, whereas it has been determined that it is now necessary to appropriate more money than was originally appropriated in the annual budget, now therefore, section 1 be it ordained, resolved by the town council of Mecca, Park County, Indiana, that for the expenses of the taxing unit, the following additional sums of money are hereby appropriated out of the funds named and for the purposes specified subject to laws governing the same. Parks and Rec, 1301, 6500, motor vehicle highway, 0708, 1000, general, 0101, 10,000, to be passed and adopted 8th day of September by a vote. And so I will call for a vote on this, yea or nay.
Yay.
Okay, then we will have it passed.
Do you have to have a certain number of board members to be legal?
It's us.
I know, but are you required to have one?
No, we're not. I looked into that. There are limitations as to what we can have, but there's really not minimum. There's minimum to hold a meeting, a quorum of, current members. Okay, but she's not a voting member, so it's just she and I, which means that if either of us aren't here, we can't have a meeting at this point. We're hoping that somebody somewhere would say, hey, yeah, I'd like to. We've been looking for quite some time. We've advertised, we've put it out, but as nobody wants to raise their hand.
I understand that. I've been there.
Okay, so that is passed.
All right, and now, this is
Well, that had a number, resolution number?
2025-04.
Okay.
All right, and then the next thing is, this is also our, budget public hearing. So, our budget for this year, we changed things up just slightly. For general, we're budgeting $58,078. Local road and street, which we usually do not budget anything for, we are going to budget $5,000. We can use that to pay for the engineer for the roads.
Okay, that's what I was
And we
going to
have
ask.
money sitting in LRS that we never do anything with, and it's restricted funds, you don't really use it for certain things. So I said, instead of using general fund for that, let's use LRS and use some of that portion of the money. Motor vehicle highway, we upped the budget to 5,000 just to be safe, because obviously we had to do additional appropriations this year. Costs went up, even though we only tend to use that for patching, just in case. And then the Parks and Rec fund, we are not budgeting for. We do not have to have a Parks and Rec fund. We can pay everything Parks and Rec out of general. When we budget for Parks and Rec like we did last year, and then have a,
Go over.
yes, working budget, and then we don't have to worry about an extra fund that we don't have to worry about. I'll keep it on the books, there's nothing in it right now. The money we had, in it, I think, was from,
Mostly donations.
I don't know if it was from the park.
It was
Yeah,
for
it was what was
yeah.
left over, and it's gone now because of the ball diamond. So
Yeah.
there's no point in budgeting for it when we can pay it out of general and be less likely to go over.
Right.
So that's the only four things.
Plus that keeps us in straight with the state board of accounts.
Yes, it makes it a lot easier, there's no point in overcomplicating it if it's not necessary. So this, that is a breakdown, the first page is a breakdown by fund of generally what we're going to be spending money on. It's, salaries, taxes, operating supplies, consulting, for Janet Alexander when I need her, fire department, mosquito fogging, mowing, tax preparation, advertising, official bonds, town insurance, Duke Energy, we have miscellaneous in there, I put the $7,000 for the park board, that's for the general. For LRS, local roads and streets, we have the road engineering consulting for $5,000, and then MVH, I have it for repair and maintenance, $5,000. We don't have to sign anything today, this is just for
Making
the
sure.
public and for you guys to see, before we sign next month.
Okay.
And if there's any changes as we learned last year, we will have to do an additional appropriations. Even though we haven't signed the budget yet because it hasn't gone into our public hearing. But I think we'll be okay. So the total for next year would be $68,078.
Okay. Any comments from anybody?
On budget.
Okay. You good?
Okay.
Right, these are ours?
Those are yours.
Okay.
And then the only thing left is for you guys to sign like last month's meeting minutes and the bills.
I got that estimate on that concrete pad.
Okay.
Did you, I mean, you obviously, you guys see the work started on the back.
Yeah, I saw that, I went out back and took a look.
Okay, the guy that's doing that work, John, sent an estimate for, a 10-foot by 16-foot, 6-inch pad, which is $2,500, and then he was going to put 6 Jersey barrier, concrete barriers, and 3 on each side for $600, which turns out $3,100. That's the estimate. Obviously, he's doing things down here and now,
Yeah.
but I don't know where you guys are at on your budget for the year, or if it's something we'll have to
Do we
revisit in the
have-
spring.
Do we have anything additional that we can, because doing that is giving us a place, the reason he's doing this is so we have a place to put the asphalt, the patch.
Yeah.
So I have a miscellaneous in the general for almost $9,000. That just gives us cushion for,
Obviously, you guys need to protect yourselves, and that is, I'm just, he's here doing the work now, and when he did, we went out and looked at it, that's what it was, I know, because before it didn't matter, we could just dump the asphalt, and they got it, but now that's all gonna be finished, and we can't just dump it out there anymore, it's gotta have a spot for it.
I also, most of these things I over budgeted
Sure,
just
sure.
in case. Including salaries, I think, I can't remember exactly how many people I budgeted for, just in case we did end up with some people coming forward. So we also have money, extra money there, like I said, in the miscellaneous, and then pretty much everything I estimated extra just as cushion, so we should be fine.
And again, if you guys need to get other whatever, he just, when he was there looking at our job, and we hired him to do that work, he gave us one on that. And to me, it's a pretty reasonable price, but it's whatever you guys think. I mean,
Okay, we gotta reach out to somebody,
We need bids.
yeah, that gives us a starting point, and, yeah, perfect. Do you have that in writing?
I have a text message, I can probably get it, I was just trying to collect the information up.
No, that's great.
If you send it to me, I can print it out
Yeah, maybe,
whenever.
well, that's from Jim to me. He
Okay.
talked to John on the phone.
Okay.
My point is that John may be able to put something and submit it, I guess. or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah,
something like that.
that's, and then that'd be perfect.
And I
The-
can,
You know, obviously, he may go off to another job after this. We were trying to coordinate time where he can get it down here, so, you know what, it may be, I don't know where he's going next, right? So, you guys can't do, you gotta do for the fine, it's not a big deal, I just don't know. I'll let him know, and he can come down and deal with
Is
it.
there a way that they could have it done and we reimburse them?
As part of this work.
I mean, I don't see why we couldn't. I don't know how the whole bid process works.
We already got bids on it out there. You know,
Oh,
so-
you've already gotten bids.
You know, I mean, from
No.
what we're doing, that as well.
Okay, so if this was,
So in other
if this
words,
was additional work that they're having done, and we, because we're gonna be utilizing it, help them out with the final cost on it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, with budget stuff, like, the general fund is unrestricted. What we decide to spend,
If you have that done as part of your deal,
okay.
we can help you out with it after the fact.
Okay, we did get a couple of bids on this entire project, including that pad.
Okay.
That was just the most recent one, right? When we did it, it was just, hey, when is this gonna be done? They were dealing with us, but, you know, obviously, that's gonna benefit the town part, and that's the point. So, if you want us to wrap that into our, we'll take care of the bill, and I'll submit a
Yes.
receipt to the town for $3,100 for concrete work.
That would work perfect.
As long as you guys are happy with it and everything's good. It really did seem relatively reasonable.
Because we'd already talked about this and passed this before,
Yeah.
as far as.
We
the
had to do
meeting.
something.
It has to be done.
Yeah.
Because it was either here or at the little park, and I would much rather it be here than having it be, because that's pretty.
Yeah, we don't want to put it up there.
We don't want to mess with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, right down on the other side of the wall,
Yeah,
down on the bottom, it'll be 16 foot wide and 10 foot deep.
perfect.
Right, so that should, once he puts those K-rails up on the sides, that'll leave about 10 to 12 feet of space for the dump truck to build up.
And that'll make it easier for everybody. It'll make it easier for me to scoop it up.
And whatever's
It'll
left
make it
over.
cleaner.
Yeah, and you should be able to say, hey, if there's anything left over, this is where it's at. If you live in Mecca, come get it. You
Yeah.
know, and that way, but when it gets back there after we're done, a lot of people don't realize it's back there, they would get, you know, so, yeah, that should help.
What do you
Okay.
do out here?
Basically, drainage, because there was nowhere for the water off the roof, it was eroding everything away. We're putting in a driveway so the fire trucks can go out the back and around as well. And then, he's gonna level up the yard a little bit. So none of that stuff was done in the addition bid, this is stuff that we had to take care of on our own afterwards or whatever, but what it does is, it allows us to go either direction if we need to, and then most importantly, the amount of water that gets caught, coming off that roof really washes stuff out real bad, so he's gonna put drainage in to catch it and take it all the way out, and feather it out or whatever and stuff, so, that'll give us a drive going down to the old railroad tracks as well, so, yeah, that's the plan, anyhow, that's the next step, so, obviously he's working on it now, but that's basically all I have. You guys have anything for me or anything?
I think we're good.
Good.
If we got nothing else,
I motion to close.
good. All right. Thank you, everybody.